Hey, this is Christy Mattoon here from Rewire. Um, I help people change from the inside to the out by getting to know their spirit, and I use a few different little techniques that I teach people that are usually quite effective. Um, unless you get somebody who's really resistant to change and they just want to hold on to what they're doing for whatever reason, right? It's called secondary gain. And some people are caught up in that, right? They want to stop and they want to be different. They want to do something different, but at the same time, they don't want to let go of what they're doing because they're getting benefit from it. You understand? It happens a lot. It happens a lot. And in this period of time, people are wanting to change really badly because of the period of time. Like, you're going to change automatically. I don't think you really have a lot of choice, but if you put your intention to it, your will to it, your desire to it, and then some activity, right? You actually work on changing the things that need changed, and you actually do the work that needs to be done to get you to whatever change it is you're looking for. So it takes some work, it takes some activity. It might take a span of time, which I'll talk about how you can alter that in another video. But you have to understand one thing, even when you start working with an energy healer or a therapist, like, it doesn't even matter what the thing is, whatever it is you're working with to help give you benefit, you have to understand you have to play a role. You have to be a part of it. And it's so interesting because I've got this going on with a number of different people right now that they want the change, but they're so resistant to do anything that would cause, like, the easiest things that would cause the greatest amount of change the quickest. They're like, totally resistant to it. And some of the people are literally telling me, I've got to get right with God. I'm like, then get right with yourself. If you think that this is coming to an end so fast, which, depending on how you look at time, I guess it could be, or you think that the end is going to be a great meeting with God, which is what some of us have been taught, and you have to get right with God, then get right with yourself. Because if you're battling internally, if you've got this will of wits going on between your heart and your mind, or your brain and your gut, or whatever it is, right? They all make and produce neurochemicals. And if they're not in alignment, it'll cause you to be off balance and off centered. It just will. But if you are opposed to going into your heart to see what it is that's locking you up, like, you're making it harder on yourself than it needs to be. If you're opposed to changing the way you speak, the words that you use, in order to create a change in the imbalance that's your structure, but you won't stop and take a look at, well, this is what I say all the time. And I make a suggestion, how about if you say it different? Let's try wording that differently. You know, like, I can't do that. I'm too, right? The forest through the trees idea. You can't even see that you're surrounded by trees in a forest because you're so deep in it. And I get that part of it. But it's the little tiny changes that you can make quickly and easily that will move you forward exponentially, right? Like changing the words. Take the words can't, don't, won't, shouldn't, couldn't, wouldn't. Take them out of your language. The word not. Take it out of your language. Find sentences that you say things like that in. I can't do this. That's a big one with most people. I can't do this. If you take the word can't out, maybe it would say, I can do this, right? You could totally flip it around and just make the negative a positive. And then people will tell me, but I'm lying to myself. But then you don't really want to change, because if you can't do this, why are we even talking? Right? You think I'm going to give you some kind of magic pill, which if you understand the way your vessel works, it is kind of a magic pill. And if you understand that, you would know you can do this. But you have to start by changing your words and find some way to believe that you can. That some way to believe that you can will come in the form of a feeling, right? So we try to go find a feeling that's higher level than I can't. What does I can't feel like? And then what does a higher level version feel like, right? Would it feel like peace? Would it feel like freedom? Would it feel like joy? Would it feel like compassion for yourself? Would it feel like hope? I know that's where you have to sit and kind of play inside your system. And that's what I do with people is I help them try and find that and feel it and mitigate it. One of the things you really have to understand is that everything that you've done in your life, everything that you've done up to this point, right up to the point that you're at right now, has led you to where you are. That's pretty easy to see. That's kind of common sense. Everything that you continue to do will create your future. Does it make sense? Let me say it again. Everything that you've done up to this point has created where you are. Everything you continue to do will create your future. All right. In order to change anything, there are two components you have to change. And it can get kind of sticky and there can be some wickets in there. And I guarantee you, if you're human, there probably are. But if you can pare it down to these two things, it can get super easy. But we are human and we want to paint the big picture and pull all the drama in that we can. But if you can take it down to these two things, it gets way easier. It's the thought or the spoken word that you have put to whatever the thing is, and the feeling. What does it feel like? If you can pare those down to, this is what I'm saying, here's how it feels. This is what I'm thinking, here is how it feels. And then do that different. And it can start with the feeling. Some people can't generate a feeling as easy. I do believe the people who are vaccinated at this point are having a way harder time getting into their heart space than people who are not. And just because I've seen so much of it, I also believe that people who are vaccinated have a harder time feeling in general than people who are not. I mean, the true vaccine, the bioweapon, if you got the saline and you're like, I took it and I'm fine, and I can get my heart, I can feel whatever, perhaps you got the saline. And I would just say, bless you, man, you got lucky. You dodged a bullet, right? But it's harder when you have that stuff in your system. It's harder. And there's other vaccines from our childhood that would be, I would equate to the same thing. When they start going through their list of vaccines, I'm like, ugh. And it makes it tougher. It just does, right? Gardasil is one of those. It makes it extremely hard. Gardasil sucks. I hate Gardasil. As much as I hate the bioweapon for sure, I hate it. I hate all of them. Stupid, freaking ridiculous. But in order to change, you have to do it different. So if I change the thought form and I start saying it different, and I don't mean come up with a totally arbitrary affirmation. I mean, take what it is you're thinking and alter it into how you would rather think, right? So forever, my favorite 3 words were I hate you. To me, inside my system, I heard it from the back of my brain all the time. All the time, I hate you, in whispers. And when I recognized what I was hearing, it totally confused me. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. Like crazy. So then I started whispering to myself. Every time I heard that, I would say, I love you. I was countering it, coming against it. I was fighting with it. I hate you, I love you. I hate you, I hate you. And then one day I actually heard from inside of me, I love you. It's like something broke free. And I was sitting on a bike in a gym. I literally looked around. I was like, whoa, it startled me. And there was nobody around me. It was totally my spirit had finally broken free from the bondage that it was under. I love you. I was like, holy cow. Like it was the craziest thing I'd ever heard. But it started with me, coming against it. And this was before I knew whole brain state and before I knew heart coherence. I was actually activating a whole brain state because I was sitting on a bike and I was pedaling and I was very cognizant of my body movement. So I was doing left-right patterns because it rotates your thoracic spine and activates your lungs and your diaphragm and all this stuff. And I was a gym rat. So I was activating whole brain state activity. And I think that's part of what helped me switch that out as fast as it happened. All right. So understand there are physiological things you can do, right? Tapping, people do all kinds of different things. Crossing your arms and legs is a whole brain state. Rotating the physical body, walking. If you are intentionally walking, just like when you're intentionally breathing, you can activate things inside your system. Did you know that? Intentionally walking with my left foot forward, my right shoulder forward, and then it swaps, right? So it's a cross crawl. Activates a whole brain state. So if I'm actively thinking of something, I'm getting it into the neuroplastic. And if you're walking around thinking horrible things about yourself, which is what I did most of my life, during your walk, guess what? You're creaming yourself. You're never going to make it. So you change the thought form, right? You do something that causes the physiology itself to change and help undo the neuroplastic. Or you start with a feeling. A lot of times I'll take people to a feeling first. Just feel this. Remember this feeling. Come back to this feeling. Come back to this feeling. Go into your heart space. Take that feeling with you. Go into your brain. Take that feeling with you. Go into your gut. Take that feeling with you. And the feeling causes alterations because by feeling alone, we're emitting chemicals and hormones into the system. And those chemicals and hormones will change depending on what you're visualizing or thinking that's causing the feeling, right? So usually I'm using a visualization with somebody, trying to spark a feeling inside of them. Do you understand? But people don't tend to get this. They don't get it right off the bat. They want to keep doing and saying and acting and reacting the way they always have, but get some kind of drastic change. Doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. I'm sorry. If you want to change, you have to change something. Thought, feeling, action, reaction. Something will get the ball rolling. Otherwise, we're just spinning our wheels. We are just spinning our wheels. And I'll sit and fight with you over it as long as you want me to. But at some point, because I keep boosting my own energy system, you will catch the bug. You will feel it different. You'll start to listen to what I'm saying. You'll start to say it different, because I'll stop people in mid-sentence. I was like, change the way you said it. Whatever you just said, let's change the way you said it. I just was working with a lady that we did one of those. I was looking to see if I could find it. It was so funny because she's just kind of going along, and whatever she had said, where did I stick it? I don't know where I stuck it. But anyway, she changed it, and she was just like, the second she changed it and said it out loud, she got it. She was like, oh, there it is. Now you got to remember that, and you start walking in it. You start being that way instead of the way you were. Do you understand? God bless you. If you want to contact me, I'm mindrewire@protonmail.com. Christy@mindrewire.com was a Gmail address. It no longer works. So call me or contact me there. And I will get back to you if it's something I think I can help you with. Just a few short sentences. Don't send me paragraphs of stuff off the get-go. Just tell me you're interested in talking to me. Don't start sending me other people's videos. Don't start sending me other people's information. I don't want it. I don't need it. I watch all the stuff I watch for particular reasons, wherever I'm guided. And so I've gotten to literally where if I see an email like that, I will just delete it, because I don't have time to sit there until I know you're bought in. I don't want to know your whole story. Just give me a few sentences. I'm interested in talking to you. I've got anxiety. I've got anger. I've got this. I'm in fear, blah, 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 whatever, whatever. Give me a few symptoms. When can we talk? Right? We'll talk for a few minutes on a phone call if you're in the United States, on a Zoom call if you are not. People always want to try and change the way I do things. Let's get on Skype. Let's be in WhatsApp. I don't do Facebook. I don't do Messenger. I'm not on WhatsApp. I won't get back on Skype. I just won't do it. I don't have time to keep piddling around with all this stuff. So it's Zoom or nothing, baby. That or a phone call if you're in the United States. All right? Does that? I hope that's not too forceful. If that helps, let me know in the comments below. If any of this helped, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to talk to you. I really would. If it's something that you think heart coherence and knowing your own spirit and changing the way you think and feel could help you get to a place where you want your life. If you truly think you're about to meet your maker and you need to get right with God, good way to start. Meet your own spirit. Get right with yourself first, and then the rest is kind of easy. All right. I bless you. I thank you, and I hope to be talking to you soon.